Yes, sir.
Okay, is the PPT is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So very good afternoon to all the participants who are willing to understand about the topic. So in this FDP program, I am going to give my talk on the topic innovative teaching methodologies and with a special emphasis on the project-based learning. So basically, what I'm going to talk in this presentations, change the slide, ma'am. So in this talk, or you can say my talk will be focused on these sub topics. The first is the introduction, then what are the traditional teaching methods uh, are being used, then the modern teaching methods, then we'll go to the innovative teaching methods, learning pyramids, how to bring innovation in the teaching, then the main topic, that is the project-based learning. Basically, I will discuss the what are the different types of innovative teaching methods in very brief, but I'm going to explain you in detail in a very explanatory form. That is the project-based learning, because as you all know that we are gathered here to understand the teaching methods which can be used for the which can be used in the higher education teaching method, scenario. So in that, PBL is very important, plays a very important role as a teaching method. And then we have the question answer session. So please change the slide, ma'am. Okay. So first of all, the introduction. So if you look at the present scenario teaching methodology or the education system, so we are still very much relies on the traditional methods. But apart from traditional methods, there are many methods which can help those traditional methods in a very effective manner. So we can say that in today's generation, it is very important to combine the traditional teaching methods, because traditional teaching methods also have lots of, you can say that importance or the merits along with this. So it is not good, or you cannot it is not justifiable that we should only focus on the innovative teaching method. We cannot skip the traditional teaching methods. So the thing is that we in today's scenario we need to combine the traditional teaching methods with the innovative teaching methods, or you can say the today's generation teaching methods. Because if you look at the traditional teaching method, because if you look, there are two different kind of persons. One are mainly focusing on the traditional teaching methods, and other they are also means focusing on the innovative teaching methods. So there are two different scenario, or you can say two different thinking are there. So but we need to combine both the methods, and means the merits of the both the methods, and we need to create some effective methods. Because of that, the students can understand the topics in a very clear way. Please change. Okay, now we first of all we talk about the traditional teaching methods. So still in most part of the country, you can see the traditional teaching methods are being used, because I will discuss what are the merits and of the traditional teaching methods, and because of that we are using in most of the part of the institutions or the countries the traditional teaching methods. So what are the characteristics of the traditional teaching methods? The first is that I mentioned over here, that teacher-centered method. Because if we talk about the traditional teaching methods, it's normally a chalk and talk method. We are using the chalk and traditional blackboard we are using, and we are teaching. So this teaching method is it is a teacher-centered method. Teacher-centered method in that case, because teacher is explaining the things, and the students are the passive learner, because they are not actively involved in the teaching methodology. But if you look at the nowadays teaching methodology, so the students become the active learner, not only the passive learner. So the traditional teaching methods is the teacher centered. Second is textbooks, because in traditional teaching methods, the information or the source of knowledge is the textbooks, because students are totally dependent upon what the teachers are saying in the class, and after that he is going for the referring the textbooks available in that particular topic. So the source of knowledge or the source of information is the textbook. Second thing is a physical setting, because in teaching methods takes place in a physical setting such as a classroom. Classroom is must in the teaching if we talk about the traditional teaching methods, because it's a physical way of teaching. And the rote of memorization, students memorize information without necessarily understanding the underlying concept. So this is one of the characteristic features of the traditional teaching methods. Please change. Now, what are the merits of the traditional teaching methodology? So first thing that is very important, if we talk about the traditional teaching method, it is very cheaper in comparison to the modern teaching methodology, because if you talk about the traditional teaching method, it's called the chalk and talk methods. So what you need to have, you need a chalk and a very small blackboard. That is sufficient. So that's why I initially told you that in large parts of the country, still we are depending upon the chalk and talk method, because it's very cheaper. Because if you look at the schools or the colleges in the rural areas, so they are not that much equipped with the technology, and because of that, still they are depending upon that is called the chalk and talk method or the blackboard teaching. So this is one of the advantage, that it's very cheaper in comparison to the modern teaching methodology. And second is, there is more interaction between the teachers and the students' traditional teaching method. Yeah, it's a very good thing. Or you can say it is not the merits, or you can say in some parts, in some facts, there is a confusion. There is a doubt that it is more interactive or the less interactive. So you can say, yeah, there is an interaction between the teacher and the students in traditional teaching method in some aspects, in some way. Second is in subjects like mathematics or chemistry, if you are going to explain the formulas, or you are going to explain the theorems or the chemical reactions, in that case, it's very easy to explain by using the blackboard. So it's in this way the teachers can connect with the students in a very effective manner. So it is a good merits of the traditional teaching methods in some way, in some part. Next is, in traditional teaching methods, teacher does not require any special. Yeah, that is very important thing, which I wanted to mention over here. Now, if you look at the modern teaching methodology, in that what happens, the teacher is giving. Let's suppose I want to deliver my lecture in the PPT, so I need to spend lots of time to preparing those PPTs or the videos, and all those things need to be prepared by the teachers. In that case, what happens? The teacher is giving lots of time to prepare those lectures, and because of that, he's not focusing. He's unable to focus in a proper way about the content of the topic or the knowledge which he's going to deliver in the class. So in traditional teaching methods, teacher does not require any special technical knowledge, and he can more focus on the subject for imparting the best knowledge to the students. So this is very important merit of the traditional teaching methods. Please change. Next slide. Okay. Now we come to the modern teaching method. If we talk about the modern teaching methods, the educational institutions is increased with a rapid rate, because I will discuss in the later on slide that today's generation, that is called the Generation Z, they are very much tech savvy, or they are very much familiar with the technology, and because of that, it is very important to evolve the traditional teaching methodology or the ways in a modern way, because it is very important to incorporate the today's generation's softwares and different kinds of gadgets, and like whiteboards, classroom, you can see like interactive boards are there. So it is very important, because it is the requirement by the student itself, because the student is very tech savvy and he has all the knowledge on his fingertip, and because of that, it is very important to add the computers, laptops, Wi-Fi connection in online classes, and interactive whiteboards in that is called the teaching methods. It's very important. What is the demand of the time? So that's why I told the modern teaching methods are necessity for the today's generation of educational systems. Next. Now, so why I'm telling you, because it has certain merits over to the conventional teaching methods. So what are those merits of modern teaching methods? So as I said earlier, means the traditional teaching methods are more or less teacher centric. Means whatever the knowledge teacher is giving in the classroom on the blackboard, so that is only the information at that time. That is the only source of information on that particular topic. But nowadays, what happened? Students, as I said, the today's Z generation is very much tech savvy. So he can type any topic on the Google, and he can get all the information related to that particular topic. So that's why it is very important that the teacher should use some certain platforms available to deliver the information, because teachers is not only the source of information or the source of knowledge. So there are many things, many skills. I will come in the later on parts. There are many skills, many things which need to be incorporated among the teachers, among the students, along with the knowledge, because knowledge is not sufficient to get the job, because other skills are also important. So to give those skills among the students, so we need to incorporate the modern things in the teaching methodology. And if you look at some other merits of the modern teaching method, as I mentioned over here, teacher can cover more syllabus in lesser time, as they don't have to waste their time in the writing on the blackboard. Yeah, it's a very good thing, because nowadays, if you look at the semester system in the colleges, so you have very less time for the teaching. The semester system is for the 6-month system. So in that 1 or 2 months, 1.5 months are going for the examination, like semester examination. There is a practical examination, and after 1 month we are starting our classes. So in that way, you are having very less time to complete your syllabus. So if the teacher is using the modern teaching methods or the gadgets, so he can cover or finish his syllabus in a given speculated time. So that's why it's very important. It is one of the merits of the teaching method. And if we are using the videos and the animation in the modern teaching methods, so these are the very much self-explanatory in the traditional teaching method. So it's a very good merits of the modern teaching methods. Please change the slide. Now, so what are the innovative teaching methods available which can be used by the today's teachers or the educators? So one that I am going to explain in very detail, that is the project-based learning, PBL. So it's very good, very important, one of the methods to teach especially in the higher education. So PBL is very important. That I'm going to explain in detail in my coming slides. Second, as you can see, the flipped classes. In flipped classes, what happens? Flipped classrooms is a teaching method that gives students information before the class. Means, let's suppose tomorrow I have a class. So what I am doing, I am just giving the study material or the information related to that topic in advance to the students. So what happens? So that class time can be used for the activities or certain activities you can perform, which help the students to apply the information which you've already given in the previous days. So this is called the flipped classroom. So the basic goal of the flipped classroom is that it's very effective manner, and it's a very good technique of teaching. That the goal is to help students learn more deeply and take responsibility of their learning. Means you are involving the students in the teaching, because you had given the topic in advance, and the students are just going through those topics by self. Means he's involved in the learning methodology. As I said, like if we talk about the traditional teaching methods, so that was a passive learning. Students are passive learners. But if we talk about the innovative teaching methods, so these are the active. Students are active learners. Means you are involving the students in the teaching. So that's very good, very important methods. It's called the flipped classes. These are also being used as innovative teaching methods. So you can also use the crosswords, quiz, MCQs. These methods can be used for the assessment part of the particular topic you have taught in the class. Then there is a that is called the experimentation learning. Experimentation learning is very good. Means it is mainly used in the that is called the science subjects. Like there are different kind of practical students are performing, and because of doing those practicals, students can understand certain concept in a very effective manner. So it is a very important method. Then there is a activity-based learning. These are being used in the schools teaching. Many of them are nowadays using the activity-based learning. Then simulation-based learning, yeah, it's very good method nowadays. The people are using. It's called the SBL simulation-based learning. In this, it is a teaching methodology that uses the simulated scenario in which helps the people to learn and practice the skills. Like if you talk about the examples, there is an example of the aviation. Means the students are learning how you can fly the plane. So in the aviation sectors, these kind of teaching methods are being used for delivering the information or delivering the skills among the participants. So it's a very good thing. In healthcare system, they're also using the simulation based learning. Means what they're doing, they are learning the skills related to the doing the that's called the how they're operating the patients. Means it's operations of the operations, how they can do the operations. So for that, there are different kind of simulation based gadgets or information platforms are available. In this way, what their students are learning that how we can do the operation without using a live objects. So these are very commonly used in the aviations and the healthcare system. It's called the simulation based learning. Then virtual labs are being used in the nowadays. It is called the teaching methodologies. One very important method that is called the blended learning. So blended learning, what we are doing over here, we are mixing the offline and the online teaching. Like what you can do, you can teach in the class. It's become the offline method. And what you do, you just give one you can do the analysis of those, or you can do the evaluation of that particular topic of the students. Means how much he gained, how much he understands the topic. For that, you can design an online analysis method. Like you can design some Google Forms for the some MCQs test or something like that. You can design. So you are just blending two things, like offline teaching and the online teaching methods. So it is also very effective method for doing for giving the information, or it is also are very important to do the analysis. Means evaluation of the learning part of the particular students. So these are some innovative teaching methods. I'm going to explain in detail about it's called project-based learning. Please change the slide. Now, one more thing I just wanted to mention over here, the learning pyramids. As you can see in this particular pyramids, so as I said, there are two types of learner. One is called the passive teaching, passive learners, and second is called the active learners. Means passive learners means whatever you are giving the information, he's just going through it and mug up all those things. But in it's called the active learning process, or it's called the participative learning process. You are using different kind of methods. So that is called the learning by the doing. If the student is doing something, and then in that way he's trying to understand the concept of particular topic, so it's very easy for the students to retain those concepts and the knowledge for the longer time. As you can see in this pyramid, like if you're using the lecture method for the teaching, so only 5% the students can retain the particular knowledge. And if you're reading, he's doing the reading, then he can retain 10%. Similarly, for the audio visuals, he's listening something, seeing something, he can retain 20%. So gradually you can see the knowledge retention rates are gradually increasing by different types of teaching methodology. Like if you are giving the demonstration, means if you are performing something in the lab, mainly for the science lab, you can see if you are doing something demonstrating the students. So in that way, can he retain at least 30%, means more than the reading and the lecture method. Like discussion groups and then practical practice by doing. So that is a very important method. If the students is performing something in the classroom or the lab, so he can retain that particular knowledge or the concept in a very effective manner. You can see in this particular learning pyramids in a very simple way. So this is called the learning pyramids, how much he can retain in the classroom by different methodology which we are using in the classes. Please change. Now, the next question comes in our mind that how we can bring the innovation in the teaching. So I will explain few methods, a few techniques how we can do the innovation in the teaching, or why it is important to bring the innovation in the teaching. Please change. Now, if you talk about the today's generation, as I may mention earlier, today's generation is the Z generation. He is very much tech savvy, because if you want to give something, or you can say, if you want to give some disseminate some information among the today's generation generation Z students, so it is very important. First of all, we need to incorporate, or we must be become very much familiar with the different kinds of gadgets and the things available in today's generation, which is called the digital technology generation. So for that, it is very important. So the first thing which is very important, that we should first, means as an educator or the teacher, we should first to understand what are the teaching methods available, or what are the different kind of gadgets available which can be used or incorporated in our teaching methodology. So that is very important thing. Change. Now, so as I said, today's generation Z is refused to be passive learner. He wanted to be active learner. Means he wants himself to involve in the teaching methodology. So for that, so we need to in that case we definitely we cannot 100% rely on the chalk and talk methods, on the conventional method. So in that case, whatever the methods I mentioned earlier, so we need to use one of the methods to disseminate the information, the knowledge to the today's generation students. So that's why it is important. And second thing that is very important, as I said, means large part of the population of the India is now the young generation, and they are very much technology savvy. So that's why we need to incorporate the innovative method to disseminate the information among the students. That is very important. Please change. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to mention over, that means if I'm a teacher, it doesn't mean I know everything, or I'm just well equipped with the everything. So today's generation teachers need to be a co-learners along with the teachers, because if you're not going with the pace of technology, because in everywhere you can see the technology. Like if you look nowadays, the AI has come. Because of the AI, so the society is changing very fast in every aspect. Similarly, it will definitely going to affect, or it is affecting the education system in the same way. So because of that, it is very important the educator or the teacher should be a co-learner. Then whatever the demanding technologies are coming nowadays with respect to the education, he needs to be themselves becomes very much familiar with those, or experience those technology tools in a very effective manner. Then only he can disseminate the information among the students, or he can cope up with the today's generation Z, and in this way he can effectively give the information. Please change. Yeah, that is very important. Means today's, as I said, means the today's generation students, means all the information they have on their fingertip. What he can do is just go to the Google, and whatever topic whatever the things he wanted to understand, he wants to know, he just type on the Google, and he will get all the information from the Google. But now, what is the role of the educators of today's generation? So in that case, we need to develop the different kind of skills along with the knowledge among the students. And because of those skills, because nowadays, now it is not the local or the regional or the national, we are talking about the global. If you want to compete with the at the global level, so in that case we need to have some extra skills among the students, then only he can get some job from the in the different parts of the countries and different parts of the globe. So in that case, it's very important to incorporate the different kind of skills among the students. If you develop those skills, so in that case, we cannot totally rely on the teaching methods as I said, like the chalk and talk or the blackboard method. So in that case, you need to evolve your teaching methodology, and because of that, you can do the holistic development of the students. And because of that holistic development, the students can compete in the today's 21st era in a very effective manner. That's why it's very important. Please change the slide. Okay, now, so this is all about the basic idea, means why it is important to have the innovative teaching, innovation in the teaching methodology. Now I will going to explain you one very important method that is called the project-based learning. As I said, it is very effectively used in the today's higher education system. And if we talk about the new education policy that is called the NEP, so NEP, if you look at the means curriculum, so they have designed the curriculum in such a way that in every semester you can see there are the skill-based programs like value-added courses are there, then vocational courses are there, and there is a that is called the project that's like a project they need to complete, like then there are different kinds of means programs they need to complete if they want to they want to get the desired like credits in the system. So in that case, PBL plays a very important role because as I said, so there are different kind of skills programs they need to go through, and they need to understand. That's the PBL is important. Please change the slide. Sorry. No. So what is project-based learning? So if we talk about the little history of the project-based learning, so there was a person who is known as John Dewey, and John Dewey recognized as one of the early proponents of the project-based education. Or you can say that he gave the idea of learning by doing. As I mentioned in the learning pyramids, you can see if the students is doing something by learning or understanding something by learning, so he can retain. Sorry, just a minute, excuse me. Yes, if the students is doing something by learning something by doing, so he can retain that knowledge in a larger proportion, as I mentioned in the learning pyramids. So this method is that is called the project-based learning. It's basically a learning by doing. It was given by John Dewey, and before John Dewey, if you look at the ancient times, the China and the Greece people are also using this method in their own way, and in there is a book, it's called the Pedagogical Creed. What Dewey said, he said teacher is not in the school to impose certain ideas or to form certain habits in the child. Yeah, it's very wonderful what he said. It is not to impose something, but is there as a member of the community. As I said, we should be co-learning. We should be co-learning, means there should be active learning, means participation of the students is very important. So, but is there as a member of the community to select the influence which shall affect the child and to assist him in the properly responding to these. So that's why it's the active teaching learning is very important, and he did a very wonderful job to design or to incorporate this kind of method in the education system. That is called the learning by doing. So John Dewey, yeah, it's a good name. He did very wonderful job. We talk about the history of project-based learning. Please change the slide. And along with the John Dewey, there are other names are also there in the if you look at the history of the PBL, or you can say the pillars of the PBL, like Jean Piaget. He is the student of John Dewey, and some more names are there like James G. Greeno, also associated with the project-based learning by Jean Piaget. And this is called the situated learning or the perspective and the constructive theory. So there are different persons also involved in to establish or to formulate the project-based learning. Next slide. Now, Now we come to the why the project-based learning is very important methods in the higher education system. So what are those benefits? And because of that, we are means saying that yeah, it's a good method. So it has some their own inherent benefits. Like students, you can, as I said earlier, that it is not only the knowledge is important among the students. Means you need to develop different kind of skills among the students, and because of those skills, because those skills are very important to compete in today's generation, in today's scenario, because now we are become global. And if you want to complete, or if you want it, that your students can compete in the global level, so definitely along with the knowledge, different kind of skills definitely needs to be addressed among the students. So one is a skill that is called the problem solving. Students learn how to tackle complex problems and develop a strategic solution. I will explain you the PBL. Means if what is PBL in this, what we are giving certain problems among the students, and that students, that problems, it needs to be sorted out by the by in a scientific manner by the student. So students can understand how to solve the problems. So it's a problem solving skills you can develop among the students. Then second is called the creativity. Students are encouraged to think out of the box. Yeah, it's very important. Think out of the box and come with the unique solutions of any problem. So you are developing the creativity among the students. Then we are also able to incorporate the critical thinking skills among the students. Students learn to analyze the problems, ask questions, and make informed decisions. So it's a very good way to incorporate, that is called the or to make the students a passive learner, sorry, active learning in place of the passive learner. It's a very good thing. Collaboration. The students learn how to work with the others, communicate, and the compromise. Means if you look at the project-based learning, the students are interacting with a different kind of people, different kind of groups. In this way, the communication skills and the teamwork you can incorporate among the students. These are the other soft skills which can be incorporated among the students by using the project-based learning. Please change the slide. Okay, other things like time management, means if the students is given certain problems, so he also given stipulated time, like you have to complete this project in 15 days, 30 days, 6 months, 1 year, like that. So he understands how to do the time management by doing the PBL. Then engagement, students becomes more engaged with the learning. As I said, you are making the students active learner in place of the passive learner. He's involved in the teaching methodology by doing some extra research. Real world skills, students develop skills that prepare them for the college and beyond. That it's a very important thing, because today's generation is very competitive generations, and if you look at the globally, it's a very huge competitions are there. So in that way, in that way, the real world skills are very important, which needs to be developed among the students. Authentic assessment, the teachers, because the students are doing something, so it's a very easy for the teachers to assess the students' abilities, and because of that, he can get something extra over edge among the other students. So it's very important. Please change the slide. Okay, now the next part is, as I discussed, what are the importance, why the TBL is important. Now the next part I'm going to discuss you means how we can, what are the phase or the steps involved in the project-based learning. So there are basically 4 phases are involved, 4 steps are involved. The first thing is identifying the problem. That is very important. First of all, you need to give one problem, or you can say the students to bring some problems or the topics on which he is going to do some sort of research. So the first thing is identifying a problem. Second is called as agreeing on or devising a solution and potential solution path to problems. How to achieve the solution means whatever the probable solutions for this particular problems that they are going to discuss among themselves if they are doing in the group. And third is they call it designing and developing a prototype of that solutions. Means if we discuss like there are 3 or 4 pathways or the ways by which we can solve that problem, So out of that that ways, he will design one prototype, means a probable pathway for that particular problem. So after designing a prototype for that particular problem solutions, then he will go for the last part, that is called the feedback from the experts. So that is very important, because if you're going for the feedback, then only you can understand. So whatever the good things or the bad things with the solutions which with the students come up with for the particular problem. That's very important. So these are the 4 steps involved in the project-based learning, or the 4 phases involved in the project-based learning. Please change the slides. Next slide, please. Okay. Now the first things which or you can say the first phase is called the defining the problem. So how we can how students can define a problem, how he can come with the problem. So there are certain questions you need to ask. The first question, as mentioned over here, like what is the nature of the problem they are trying to solve? That is very important. It means if certain problem is good or not, so you need to ask some questions. So one question is what is the nature of the problem they are going to solve? So in this way, you can understand. So what assumptions can they make about why the problem exists? So these 2 questions I have mentioned over here, along with this, certain different questions can be asked by the students, so that he can understand the how you can define the problem. Like it's very easy if the students is looking around themselves, like what are the real world problem. So in that case, he can get he can ask certain questions, and on basis of those questions, he can come up with a very good problem. And those problems are very user friendly, or end users can be benefited for if we solve those problems, or we can tackle those problems. And because of that, sorting those problems, and it is if it is useful or the beneficial for the end users, so it's definitely a good problem. So if students want to get a problem, so it's very good thing is that he just look the real world, means around themselves, like is there any problem, or what are the problems are faced by different persons involved in doing something. So for that, he can get a good problem by asking few questions among themselves or in the group. So in this way, he can define the problem. Next, please. So next is generating ideas. Ideas means how we can look for the solution for those problems. So students should be given the opportunity to brainstorm and discuss their ideas for solving the problem. Because if it is very important, and the very good thing with the project-based learning, what you can do, you can design a project for the 3 or 4 students in a group. Is in this way, what will happen if they are coming with a problem, so he can discuss on that problems, or you can say on the probable solutions for those problems in a very effective manner, and he can understand how to work in a team. That's very important. So brainstorming is very important. In this way, you are increasing the analytical power of the brain of the students. So this is very good thing. So setting guidance for the brainstorming session, yeah, that you can do. You can set some certain problems, like you can set certain parameters, like such as giving everyone a chance to voice an idea, suspending judgment of others. So these are some examples I mentioned over here. You can use other methods of brainstorming if they're going for the solution of that particular problem. It depends upon the type of problem which you've given to the student. Next, please. Now the next is called the designing of the prototype. So if you're going for the designing a prototype, you can think of different ways, like a few I mentioned over here, like a mock-up test, storyboard, role play, or even an object made out of readily available materials such as pipe cleaners, popsicle sticks, and rubber bands. Means you can think of variety of solutions of any problem. So it depends upon what subject you are teaching. If you're teaching chemistry, you can think of that in that aspects. If you're teaching biology, you can think of that aspects. What are the problems available, and what are the probable solutions? So in that way, in this way, students can understand how to come up with the solution for those problems. So, and the basic purpose of the prototyping is to expand upon the ideas generated during the brainstorming phase. and to quickly convey how the solution to the problems might look and feel. So prototypes plays a very important role to understand the effective solution of the particular problem. So in this way, you can focus on creating simple prototypes. Also means the students can create their ideas, designing it quickly and easily incorporate. So different ways are available, as I mentioned here. You can, depending upon the subject you are teaching or explaining, on that way you can means explain or design a different kind of prototype. Prototype can be designed or solutions by the design by the students. These are the available depending upon the topics you are going to give the students. Next, please. Now, the next part is that is called the testing and the feedback from the experts, instructors, and the peers. If you have come up with any prototype or any solutions of any specific problems, so it is very important to go for the feedback from the experts and the instructors. So in this way, you can understand whatever you have designed or created the prototype of the solutions. It is worked properly or not, what you even the plan, it does work in the proper way or not, or it is completed in a given time or not. So these are the things can be taken by, this can be done by taking the feedback from the experts, or the problem you have, the solution you have come up with, whether it is correct or not. The certain it has certain limitations or certain hitchhocks or some problems in there. So that can be tested or understood by the students. So in this way, testing engages students in the critical thinking and reflection processes. So these are some words that can be done by the students. Next, please. Now, the next part of my presentation, I'm just as I told, I am basically teaching the biotechnology. My topic is my subject is biotechnology. So I can give you certain examples. Like I'm involved in doing the different kind of research work. I'm also guiding the PhDs. So I'm giving different kind of project works. So few projects which can be done by the UG students in a very small time that I have mentioned over here. Like the first problem you can see, to biochemical and molecular characterization of the Narmada River water near to Ghazi-Ghat, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, India. Means, as I said in the PBL, the first thing that is very important, which plays a very crucial role, that identifying a problem. So how we can identify a problem, or the students can, how they can identify the problem? You can look for the local things. Means, what is there any problem locally available, not available, or is there any local problems? So if the students are thinking in that way, he can come up with a very good problem, and that problem can be solved in a very effective way. So as I mentioned, one very good example of the good example for the project work is called to identify the molecular characterizers of the rivers near to Ghazi-Ghat, Jabalpur. Second is to isolate and characterize the bacterial population from the municipal wastewater Jabalpur. So by doing this particular project work, the students can understand what are the microorganisms present in the wastewater population. Then in this way he will go to those particular areas, and by this he can do the conversation with the local people. So by this project you can incorporate or disseminate the skills of the that's called the how to talk with the others, how communication skills you are developing among the students. And if you are given these kind of problems in the group, so students you can develop the teamwork among the students. Second, that's the last one. You can see it's a very unique problem. Generation of DNA barcodes for the medicinal plants of the Jabalpur region. So by this project work, what industry can understand, what are the local means flora available next to him, which has the medicinal properties. So in this way, you can develop the research aptitude among the students. So what basically I wanted to say from these projects, which I mentioned 2 or 3 or 4 projects over here, you can develop different kind of skills, soft skills, which I mentioned earlier, because those skills are very important among the students. And if we talk about the project-based learning, so it's a very important methods. By this, you can develop different kind of thought skills among the students, and because of that, he can compete with the global scenario in the present time. Please change the slide. Now we are in the last part of my presentation. This is called the conclusions. As I mentioned, PBL project-based learning encourages students to think outside the box. Yeah, it's very important thing. Means once he becomes the active learner, so he can think out of the box, and you can develop definitely a that is called the creativity among the students, and because of that he can create some innovative solution for those problems. And because of that, you are able to develop the creativity skills among the students, and to approach problems in unique and creative ways by giving students the opportunity to explore topics and problems that are of interest of them. Yeah, that is a very good thing. Means if the person is doing something, and because he only will do when he has certain interest for that particular problem or particular topics. So because of that, you are able to develop the interest among the students for the topic, or you can say you can also understand whether that the students really have the interest for the topic or not. If he is unable to do the solution or tackle those problems, so that means he is not having the interest for those problems. Then in that case, what you need to do, he can go for some other problems or some other projects given the students according to their interest. So we can understand the skills or the ability of the students by doing this project-based learning. So PBL fosters the spirit of creativity and innovation that can carry over into all the areas of their lives. So this is all from my side, and one thing I would like to say over here. So project-based learning is very important tool if we talk about the higher education system, because if you look at the NEP, so in NEP it has different goals, NEP goals, SDG goals are there. So in that case, in that way, so the government or the policymakers are looking for the holistic development of the students. And if we talk about the holistic development of students, so PBL definitely plays a very important role. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much. Please change this slide. So thank you very much. So anyone have any questions? He or she can ask me. I hope I finished my topic in the given time.